it really is brought about and birthed in terms of our purpose around, mining for a sustainable world. And with that, what we see in front of us today is really the FLSmidth drive in terms of the flow sheet and the mine of tomorrow. And it's really bringing together all of these components, and it's built out of 4 real strategic pillars. One being sustainability, obviously, and there we have very much the drive from FLSmidth in terms of our Mission Zero objectives, our ambitions around reducing wastewater, waste energy, and then at the same time, maximizing the flow sheets in terms of optimization and getting more efficiencies out of less. The other pillar then is very much around the service side of the business. Again, I think it's how do we as FLSmidth contribute over the full life cycle of the plant, where sometimes products and capital are limited to a year or 2. What we're talking about here is the 30-year mine of life, and how can we quantifiably demonstrate to our clients an improvement in terms of their operations, that drives not only their sustainability targets but also then their bottom line. And the other 2 are really around our technology. Where's our technology going at the moment? How do we ensure that our service our sustainability offerings into this industry ensure that we have the full flow sheet covered, not just portions of it, but enabling our clients to, again, with our technology, drive their sustainability goals, and us being there as an enabler to them, utilizing digitalization, but very much focused all of our R&D around the critical commodities of the future, the sustainability goals and our Mission Zero goals. And then perhaps lastly, but also as importantly, is how do we as a company continue to grow profitably, and doing that through focusing on our core business, which now is very much mining, and with that driving really responsible focus around a balanced portfolio of risk, and very much sort of focusing our attention in terms of growth opportunities and servicing our market. So I think that very much encompasses our focus around mining for a sustainable world and how we contribute to that on a daily basis. Adopting the CORE’26 strategy and coming back to our core focus is very much a journey that FLSmidth find ourselves in right now. And as we transition from that of an engineering company to a technology company, we're moving away from areas that are not our core focus or core competency, like integrated scope of work, infrastructure and the like around a lot of our equipment, and bringing that back into what do we do really well, focusing our R&D, and then focusing all of our core experience and expertise around our technology, and how that then integrates into the overall flow sheet of our clients. Closely linked to that is a move away from a projects environment to very much a service environment. And sometimes, one forgets that projects in their own right and the capital investment phase is very limited to a year or 2, and yet we have a 30-year lifespan where our equipment is in the field. And it's that focus as we now add value across the full life cycle rather than focusing on a very small component. And underpinning all of that is then the move away as a corporate, very much a conglomerate of a number of industries and a number of sectors. Cement as an example, then bringing in the mining side as well as the material handling side, but coming down to a pure play as a mining company and being able to focus all of our attention, all of our research, all of our efforts into that area. So that very much is our CORE’26 focus and the journey that we're currently on. If one looks in front of us, really what we're depicting here is the mine of tomorrow. And a lot of that R&D is really focused around the challenges that the mining environment is currently facing. We know we're in a high inflationary environment. We know we have challenges with declining ore grades. We know we've got challenges in terms of sustainability. How do our miners ensure that they do more with less effectively, whether that be energy consumption, water consumption, and actually getting the most out of what they actually have as an ore body. So if I can think of a few examples that we're currently looking at, one would be the HPGRs, where again it's R&D that's very focused around the dry milling aspect of the business. So it tackles sustainability, it tackles the service side of the business, and it really tackles how do we reduce the impact in terms of utilization, as well as then the commodities and the utilities that feed into it. Another example that we really focus our R&D on at the moment is utilizing previous technology that was very focused around the coal industry and looking to repurpose that into the new industry, be it the critical minerals industry or even into the batteries industry. An example of that is the reflux classification flotation cell, which utilized reflux classification, which was well adopted and well known within the fine coal application, and now looking to use those same principles into a flotation industry or application rather. And with that, what we've seen is we achieving the higher throughputs, we achieving better recoveries, better grade coming out of it, and far lower consumption in terms of utilities again, as well as the actual footprint. Another example perhaps is the traditional flotation cells, and just looking for them at the moment on the table here. But if we look at our Corsair flotation as an example, where the Wemco cells, flotation cells, have been around for a long time and certainly widely adopted within the concentrator industry. The Wemco 2 model has just come out, and again here we've leveraged all the knowledge that we've gained out of Wemco 1 and now seen higher recoveries, better utilization of power, and far better operational performance overall through the new Wemco 2. So I think it's really leveraging all of those together. You know, what has been tried and tested in industry, moving that forward, looking at applications previously from the coal industry and moving that into a new sustainable world of the green metals as well as the critical metals. And then perhaps lastly with that, it's the ability to look at the full flow sheet. And that's where a lot of our R&D is focused. You know, how do we focus not on segments or components, but ultimately for our clients, we need to produce and support them in a end-to-end solution. And the ability to look at R&D across the full line, and together with that, the power industry in terms of the lithium spodumene side, that's a critical focus for us right now. I think if we go back a number of years, everything that we've done in terms of strategic acquisitions has led us to where we are today. But I think more recently, obviously, the acquisition of ThyssenKrupp Mining has been well publicized and well known by everybody, as well as their KnowledgeScape. So if I look at those two acquisitions specifically and how we've now integrated mining technologies into our company, mining technologies brought with them very good technology around the HPGRs and around in-pit crushing as an example. So not only has that now completed our flow sheet offering, but at the same time it speaks very strongly towards sustainability, with the HPGR again being a dry grinding system, utilizing no water and far better power consumption. Together with that, of course, the in-pit crushing has the ability to reduce the carbon footprint of our clients by doing a lot more of the crushing in-pit rather than having to go into the trucking of it through to the plant. So, you know, those two acquisitions speak very clearly towards sustainability. It talks towards our overall technology focus and the ability to own the full flow sheet. And I think from a service perspective, if I particularly focus again on the mining technologies out in Kleurkop, what we're able to do with HPGRs is not only service our equipment within South Africa for the African market, but we're actually able to do test work. We're actually able to mobilize competent resources to site to understand the maintenance, the operations of it. So I think again, you know, with all of these acquisitions, we're looking towards the flow sheet of tomorrow, we're looking towards the mine of tomorrow, and bit by bit building technologies that contribute to it, and then together with that underpinning some digitalization and the ability to enable optimization underneath that through the KnowledgeScape acquisition. Perhaps in a nutshell, what we striving to become is a partner for the full performance life cycle of these operations and these plants, and with that sustainability. You know, considering where we are today, sustainability comes in a number of opportunities throughout the life cycle of any project, any mining operation. Right at the front end, we have the opportunity to partner with our clients around the flow sheet development phase, doing the test work on bulk samples or samples taken at the sites, then being a partner with them through the entire flow sheet development, and then ultimately, not only after the delivery of the equipment, but also the detailed engineering phases, not just being a supplier, but actually being that partner, that the integration of our technology and the equipment ensures for the overall success of these operational plants. And I think that then extends after the commissioning of the plant into the full-time maintenance operation of this plant for the next 30 years. How do we continually partner with our client through being able to make good decisions based on data, again with the whole digital enabling of decision making? How do we ensure that we are partnering in terms of uplifting competence on site with regards to maintenance and operations of our equipment? So really, again, if we're able to partner with our clients in terms of performance over the full life cycle and to be able to demonstrate that, I think that really talks towards sustainability. And what we have seen recently in a project in the Middle East that was focused around a phosphate, we have the two elements coming together. One being the engagement at the very early phase where bulk samples were sent across to our labs in Salt Lake City. And together with the client, we were able to develop the flow sheet from a clean sheet. We're now in the detailed engineering phase going into execution, and we see ourselves partnering with the client all the way through. So really from the very inception of the capital investment right the way through into the commissioning, ramp up, and then onwards into the extended phase. And interesting enough, we come out of a project where the client had an operational plant, and again through the mobilization of our resources to site, undertaking audits on the site, undertaking simulations on the site in terms of performance, how the technology is operating, the function that is performing, we were able to debottleneck a lot of the plant issues that they were having and bring the plant up to nameplate capacity. So I think again, the encapsulation of everything we're trying to do is how do we service our client, from capital investment right the way through to when they one day close their mines, and the ability to leverage off our 4 pillars, utilizing technology, utilizing our focus on sustainability, utilizing our service expertise, and growing a really profitable, sustainable company. I think with that, it's really been able to focus and supply our clients with exactly what they need.